Have you ever woken up feeling exhausted, even though you thought you slept enough? You lie in bed, listening to the quiet of the morning, and yet, your body feels heavy, your mind restless. It's a strange kind of fatigue, not the kind you can shake off with a cup of coffee or a morning jog. Deep down, there's a whisper, a gentle signal that something in your life is off balance. We live in a world full of noise. Each day is filled with tasks, responsibilities, and endless expectations. We rush from one thing to another, often forgetting to pause, to breathe, to notice ourselves. And slowly, imperceptibly, our energy fades, not because we are weak, but because we are carrying more than our bodies and minds are meant to bear. The scriptures speak often of rest, of peace, of renewal. Psalm 23 reminds us that even in the valley, we can find comfort, that there is a stillness where our souls can recover. Yet in our modern lives, it seems almost impossible to find that stillness. We chase deadlines, scroll endlessly through screens, measure ourselves against ideals that do not nourish us. And in the process, we grow tired, not just in body, but in spirit. Here is the truth that many overlook. Exhaustion is not a punishment. It is a signal, a divine whisper, if you will, guiding us to look deeper. What we often label as laziness, procrastination, or weakness may in fact be a call to realign, to pay attention to the ways we have distanced ourselves from what truly sustains us. Our tiredness is a sacred message, a reminder that life is more than doing. It is about being. And yet, most advice focuses on the external. Sleep more, eat better, exercise harder. These things are helpful, yes, but they treat only the surface. They do not touch the source. The source of your fatigue is often invisible. It is the unrest of the heart, the clutter of the mind, the unnoticed weight of living out of sync with your own rhythm. Like a river blocked by unseen stones, energy in your life stagnates when the flow is interrupted. Take a moment now. Close your eyes if you can. Listen to your breath. Feel the quiet rhythm of your body. What do you notice? Perhaps there is a tension in your chest, a heaviness in your limbs, or a mind that refuses to rest. These are not signs of failure. They are invitations to slow down, to reflect, to honor the sacred vessel that carries you each day. And here is the blessing embedded in this recognition. Once you understand the true reason for your fatigue, the path to renewal begins. You do not need to chase energy as if it were a fleeting prize. You need to understand, to align, to let go. When you honor your body, your mind, your spirit, you create a space where energy flows naturally. You awaken not only in body, but in soul. So if you have been wondering why you are always tired, know this: you are not alone. Your weariness is shared by many, yet it is also uniquely yours. It carries a message waiting for you to hear. Over the course of this journey, we will explore the hidden sources of fatigue, the unseen patterns that drain you, and the gentle truths that can restore your vitality. The way forward is not just in doing more, but in understanding, in aligning, and in blessing yourself with the awareness that rest is holy, that life is meant to be lived with rhythm, and that your energy is a sacred gift to be nurtured and cherished. The real reason you are always tired is not what the world tells you. It is the quiet call of your own heart and soul, waiting for you to listen, waiting for you to find your way back to peace. When you first notice your constant fatigue, it's easy to blame your schedule. I'm too busy, you tell yourself. I haven't slept enough. I've been working too hard. And while these are true on the surface, they are not the whole story. Fatigue is rarely just a matter of time spent awake or tasks completed. It is, more often, a reflection of something deeper, a quiet imbalance that touches body, mind, and spirit alike. Consider your mornings. You wake up, groggy, reaching for your phone before even sitting up. Notifications, messages, emails, the world demanding attention before you have fully arrived. Your body stirs reluctantly, and your mind begins its endless assessment of what must be done today. Even before breakfast, you are already exhausted. This is not laziness. It is the subtle effect of living in a constant state of alertness. Your nervous system, like a finely tuned instrument, has been overstretched without pause, without care. The Psalms speak of rest in ways that are profound yet simple. Psalm 4 verse 8 says, "In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety. Notice the words, peace and safety. True rest is not just about closing the eyes. It is about a heart and mind that feel secure, aligned, and quiet. Modern life, with its relentless stimuli, rarely allows this. And when our internal rhythm is constantly disrupted, fatigue becomes inevitable. But it's not only the external world that drains you. It is the internal too. The thoughts, the worries, the expectations you place upon yourself. Perhaps you fear failure. Perhaps you carry guilt for things long past. Perhaps you compare yourself silently to others, measuring your life against screens and stories that do not reflect reality. Each of these small, invisible burdens accumulates, like dust settling on a mirror. Slowly, invisibly, the mirror of your energy becomes clouded, and the reflection you see is one of weariness and frustration. We often overlook these internal factors because they are subtle, easy to dismiss. And yet, they are deeply intertwined with your physical energy. A restless mind saps the body. An anxious heart interrupts sleep. Your fatigue is not simply a matter of calories or exercise. It is the echo of imbalance, the whisper of a spirit out of rhythm with its life. Have you ever noticed that on some days, even after sleeping a full 8 hours, you wake up still tired, while on other days, with less sleep, you feel almost alive? This is not coincidence. It is the body and soul responding to alignment or misalignment. When your mind is calm, your heart unburdened, your energy flows more freely. When your inner life is chaotic, sleep alone cannot restore you. The Psalms recognize this truth. Rest is a state of alignment, not merely an absence of activity. Let's take a closer look at the habits that unknowingly drain you. Constant connection, phones, emails, social media, creates an invisible tether to the world's demands. Even moments meant to be rest are interrupted by alerts, notifications, or the silent pressure to perform. Meal patterns may be irregular. Caffeine may mask exhaustion temporarily, and yet none of these address the root. You are treating symptoms, not causes. Another subtle factor is emotional neglect. When you suppress your feelings, anger, sadness, frustration, you carry them silently. Like water in a cup, each emotion adds volume until the cup overflows, manifesting as exhaustion, irritability, or apathy. The Psalms, in their quiet wisdom, invite expression and acknowledgement. Pour out your heart before Him. God is a refuge for us. Fatigue is often a signal that your spirit is asking for release, for recognition, for care. And here is the gentle blessing hidden in all this. Recognizing the source of your tiredness is itself the first step toward restoration. Awareness is the light that illuminates the path. When you see the invisible weights, constant alertness, emotional suppression, misaligned habits, you can begin to release them. The body is resilient. The mind is flexible. The spirit is capable of renewal. But first, the quiet acknowledgement must occur. Now, notice the small rhythms of your day. When you eat, do you eat mindfully, or do you consume while distracted? When you move, is it nourishing, or is it purely functional? When you rest, do you truly rest, or is it merely a pause before the next obligation? These questions are not trivial. They touch the very flow of energy through your life. The Psalms teach attentiveness to every moment, seeing each as an opportunity for alignment, reflection, and blessing. It is also worth considering the influence of your environment. Spaces cluttered with noise, light, or disorganization subtly tax your nervous system. Even your home, your room, your desk can either support your vitality or erode it. Small changes, clearing space, dimming lights, creating moments of silence, can profoundly affect how your energy is restored. These are blessings hidden in plain sight, waiting to be recognized. Perhaps the most important insight is this: fatigue is not a failure. It is a message. A loving reminder from life itself that something in your rhythm requires attention. The Psalms repeatedly invite us to listen, to pause, to find sanctuary in stillness. Psalm 46 verse 10 says, "Be still, and know that I am God." Stillness is not laziness. It is recovery. It is alignment. It is preparation for the flow of energy to return. As you continue through your day, begin to notice these signs, these whispers of fatigue. See them not as burdens, but as guidance. Each yawn, each heaviness, Each moment of weariness is an invitation to tune in, to reflect, to bless yourself with care and attention. In this awareness lies the first spark of renewal. Fatigue is rarely cured by doing more. It is healed by understanding, by gentle realignment, by nurturing the body, mind, and spirit together. And as we journey further, we will explore how to gently release the invisible weights, restore energy naturally, and embrace the blessings hidden in stillness, reflection, and attunement. The path ahead is not about quick fixes or temporary boosts. It is about listening, learning, and honoring the sacred rhythm of your life. Because the real reason you are always tired is waiting to be heard. And once you listen, restoration begins. By now, you may begin to notice patterns, moments in your day when energy dips, when heaviness creeps into your body, when your mind seems foggy. These are not random. They are signals, whispers from your body and spirit pointing toward hidden drains. And when we take the time to understand them, we uncover truths that are both practical and profoundly spiritual. One subtle source of exhaustion is the neglect of your internal rhythms. Modern life often forces us into schedules that ignore our natural cycles of alertness and rest. Early mornings for some, late nights for others. Our society rarely honors these differences. When you push against your natural rhythm, you pay the price in fatigue. Your body may be telling you, "This is not my time to be active. This is my time to rest." Psalm 127 verse 2 reminds us, "It is in vain that you rise up early and go late to rest, eating the bread of anxious toil, for he gives to his beloved sleep." Sleep is sacred, yes, but rest goes beyond nighttime slumber. It is the alignment with your own rhythm, honoring the moments your body and spirit require pause. Another common drain is unseen emotional burdens. Grief, regret, resentment, and worry accumulate silently. You might go through your day appearing functional, even cheerful, yet inside, these unprocessed emotions quietly sap your energy. Think of them as invisible weights in a backpack you carry everywhere. Each unresolved feeling chips away at vitality, leaving you weary long before you notice. Psalm 34 verse 18 offers comfort. "The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit." Recognition and expression are the first step toward release. To bless yourself in this context is to allow space for your emotions, to acknowledge them, and to trust that restoration follows honesty with oneself. A third drain is mental overstimulation. Devices, notifications, endless streams of information. Each ping, alert, or message subtly forces your brain into heightened alertness. Even when sitting quietly, your mind may be rehearsing, anticipating, calculating. Over time, this constant state of readiness exhausts the nervous system. You may experience it as restlessness, irritability, or the inability to focus, yet it is more than distraction. It is a subtle depletion of energy at a neural level. The Psalms repeatedly guide us toward mental stillness. "Be still, and know that I am God." In the quiet, when the mind rests, energy is restored, insight deepens, and clarity emerges. Blessing yourself means allowing intentional quiet, even in small pockets of your day. Nutrition is another factor that cannot be ignored. Not simply the amount of food you eat, but the way you consume it. Mindless eating, snacking while scrolling, skipping meals, or consuming processed foods affects blood sugar stability and hormonal balance, which directly influence energy levels. While diet advice often focuses on weight or appearance, the Psalms teach attention and mindfulness in daily acts. Eating can be a blessing, a form of sacred attention. Even a small mindful meal or a sip of water can become a ritual that restores not only the body but the spirit. Another layer often overlooked is relationship energy. Every interaction carries energy, subtle but real. Some people uplift, some drain. If your days are filled with constant conflict, unmet expectations, or the pressure to perform socially, you may find yourself exhausted even without physical exertion. The Psalms highlight the power of supportive, spiritually aligned connections. Psalm 133 verse 1 says, "Behold, how good and pleasant it is when brothers dwell in unity." Energy flows naturally in spaces of peace and blessing, and it diminishes where tension and discord persist. Recognizing and managing your relational energy is a key step toward restoration. Physical posture and movement, too, play a quiet role. Hours hunched over screens, bodies immobilized, or movements repetitive yet lacking vitality can create tension, impede circulation, and subtly drain energy. Often, these are habits learned unconsciously, unnoticed because they are gradual. The Psalms remind us of embodiment, of the sacredness of the human vessel. Stretching, walking mindfully, and gentle movement are not just exercise. They are blessings you offer to your own body, allowing energy to circulate freely. And then there is spiritual misalignment, which is often the hardest to identify because it is internal and subtle. Perhaps your daily actions do not reflect your deeper values or purpose. Perhaps the way you spend your energy does not honor your true self. Psalm 37 verse 4 encourages alignment. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. When life feels out of balance, when what we do day to day conflicts with what we feel called toward, fatigue sets in. It is a natural response of a spirit constrained by misalignment. Blessing yourself in this sense is committing to small acts of authenticity each day, moments that align action with heart, work with calling, doing with being. Let us not forget the power of quiet reflection. In a world that prizes speed and output, pausing is revolutionary. Journaling, prayer, meditation, or simply sitting in stillness can reveal patterns invisible during motion. In these moments, fatigue becomes a teacher rather than an enemy. It is whispering, look closer, realign, restore. To bless yourself in this context is to honor these pauses, to hear the subtle guidance offered through your own body, mind, and soul. Finally, consider gratitude as a hidden energy source. On the surface, it may seem paradoxical. How can gratitude, a mental or spiritual practice, affect physical energy? Yet numerous studies and spiritual traditions converge on this truth. Noticing and blessing what is already present shifts perspective, reduces mental strain, and restores vitality. Even in exhaustion, pausing to acknowledge a moment of beauty, kindness, or peace can spark a subtle but profound renewal. The Psalms embody this wisdom. Each song, each verse, each prayer is infused with noticing, blessing, and giving thanks. Through gratitude, energy flows back, silently but powerfully, into every part of your being. So when you feel drained, remember, the reasons are often layered, invisible, and deeply connected to body, mind, and spirit. Fatigue is rarely simple. It is a complex whisper, a message, and a blessing waiting to be received. And as we continue on this journey, we will explore practical ways to release these drains, restore energy naturally, and embrace the sacred flow that sustains you. Because energy, true energy, is not something to chase. It is something to uncover, nurture, and bless. And recognizing the hidden causes of fatigue is the first step to reclaiming it fully, mind, body, and spirit together. By now, you may have begun to recognize subtle patterns in your fatigue, the invisible threads that weave through your day, leaving you drained. These threads are often easy to ignore, for they are silent, small, and gradual. Yet, they accumulate, shaping your experience in ways you may not consciously notice. Understanding these patterns is a powerful act of awareness, a blessing in itself, because once you see them, you can begin to reclaim your energy. One of the most common but overlooked sources of exhaustion is mental clutter. Your mind, like a room, collects thoughts, worries, reminders, and half-finished plans. Each unchecked thought acts like a small weight pressing down. Over time, the cumulative effect is profound. You may feel overwhelmed, restless, or simply foggy, unable to focus even on simple tasks. Psalm 19 verse 14 speaks to this inner clarity. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Here is the blessing. By observing your thoughts, by organizing your inner world, you restore space for vitality and clarity to return. Another hidden drain comes from emotional suppression. Many of us carry unspoken pain, grief, regret, resentment, or subtle fears. These emotions are often dismissed. I should be over it by now, or I can't show weakness. But suppressing emotions does not erase them. It stores them in your body and spirit, quietly consuming energy. You may notice tension in your chest, headaches, or sudden fatigue during stressful encounters. Psalm 34 verse 17 reminds us, "When the righteous cry for help, the Lord hears and delivers them out of all their troubles." Recognizing and expressing your feelings through journaling, conversation, prayer, or reflection is not weakness. It is an act of restoration, a form of blessing that replenishes the spirit. Physical misalignment is another subtle thief of energy. Prolonged sitting, slouched posture, shallow breathing. All are habits that unconsciously drain vitality. Your body is designed for rhythm and motion. When those rhythms are restricted, circulation slows, muscles tense, and energy depletes. Small practices, like mindful stretching, deep breathing, or gentle movement, can realign your body and restore the flow of energy. Psalm 16 verse 11 assures us, "In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore." By honoring your body as a sacred vessel, energy is naturally renewed, and joy becomes tangible once again. Nutrition and hydration, often underestimated, play a quiet but essential role. Food is not merely fuel, it is a covenant with your body. Skipping meals, consuming processed foods, or eating mindlessly disrupts energy balance. Likewise, dehydration subtly saps vitality, often manifesting as fatigue long before thirst is recognized. Consider each meal as an opportunity to bless yourself, to nourish body and soul together. Mindful eating, gratitude for what sustains you, and attention to the body's needs are all acts that restore energy at a profound level. Another layer is the energy of your environment. Cluttered spaces, harsh lighting, or constant noise subtly overstimulate the nervous system. Even when alone, these external factors keep your body on alert, forcing constant micro-adjustments that drain vitality. Psalm 46 verse 10 instructs, "Be still, and know that I am God." Creating spaces of calm, arranging your environment thoughtfully, and embracing stillness are blessings that cultivate energy, allowing your spirit to settle into harmony. Social energy, too, is a subtle influence often ignored. Relationships can uplift, but they can also deplete. Toxic dynamics, unresolved conflict, or excessive demands from others silently consume your reserves. Even well-meaning but emotionally demanding interactions can leave you drained. Psalm 133 verse 1 celebrates unity. "Behold, how good and pleasant it is when brothers dwell in unity." Surrounding yourself with supportive, uplifting connections and setting gentle boundaries is an act of self-care and blessing that safeguards your energy. As we move deeper, let us examine the spiritual layer of fatigue. Often, exhaustion arises when our daily actions are misaligned with our values, purpose, or calling. When energy is spent on tasks that feel hollow or unfulfilling, even physical rest cannot restore it. Psalm 37 verse 4 teaches, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." Aligning action with intention, work with purpose, and living authentically creates an energy that sustains beyond sleep or diet. Recognizing misalignment and gently adjusting course is itself a blessing, a reclamation of vitality from the invisible forces that drain it. The role of digital distraction cannot be overlooked. Continuous exposure to screens, notifications, and online demands interrupts mental rest. The mind never fully disengages, even in supposed downtime, leaving subtle fatigue in its wake. Psalm 62 verse 1 reminds us, "Truly my soul finds rest in God. My salvation comes from Him." Intentional breaks, digital Sabbaths, or simply moments of mindful silence allow the mind to recover, restoring energy that had been silently eroded. Even micro-decisions, small choices repeated countless times daily, affect energy. Saying yes when you mean no, overcommitting, skipping self-care routines, or ignoring personal boundaries all chip away at vitality. Fatigue is often the quiet protest of your spirit, signaling that adjustments are needed. Psalm 23 verse 3 speaks, "He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for His name's sake." Each conscious choice to honor your needs, to bless yourself with limits and care, restores energy incrementally but powerfully. Finally, there is gratitude and recognition. a subtle but profound source of energy. Noticing what sustains you, what is already good, creates a shift in perception. Small moments of appreciation, sunlight streaming through a window, a comforting meal, the smile of a friend, are blessings that feed both spirit and body. Psalm 100 verse 4 says, "Enter his gates with thanksgiving, and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him, bless his name." Through conscious gratitude, energy flows back to you, gently replenishing what had been lost. The wisdom embedded in these insights is simple. Fatigue is never just physical. It is a multi-layered signal, a whisper from the body, mind, and spirit. By observing, recognizing, and blessing yourself through these subtle drains, you begin to reclaim your energy. You begin to restore flow where it has been blocked, to heal what has been neglected, and to awaken not just physically but spiritually. In the next section, we will explore practical ways to release these drains, rituals, habits, and moments of reflection that help the body, mind, and spirit harmonize. Because energy is sacred, vitality is a blessing, and your journey toward restored vigor begins with seeing, acknowledging, and responding with care and love. Now that you have begun to recognize the hidden drains on your energy, mental clutter, emotional weight, physical misalignment, spiritual disconnection, it is time to explore how to gently release them. This is where the path toward renewal begins, not as a race, not as a checklist, but as a sacred practice of awareness, alignment, and blessing. The first step is mindful stillness. In the Psalms, we are repeatedly invited to pause, to listen, and to dwell in quiet reflection. Psalm 46 verse 10 says, "Be still, and know that I am God." Stillness is not laziness. It is a powerful form of energy restoration. Begin by finding small pockets of time during your day to breathe deeply and observe your inner state. Sit quietly, notice your body, your thoughts, your heart. Even 5 minutes can create a ripple of calm that restores energy from the inside out. Next comes emotional release and acknowledgement. The weight of unexpressed feelings often contributes to persistent fatigue. Allow yourself to name your emotions, whether through journaling, prayer, or private reflection. Acknowledge your sadness, frustration, or anxiety without judgment. Psalm 34 verse 18 reminds us, "The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit." By recognizing what you carry, you bless yourself with understanding, and the burden that sapped your vitality begins to lift. Movement and alignment of the body is another crucial aspect. Gentle stretching, walking, or yoga awakens the body's circulation, loosens tension, and reconnects you with the vessel that carries your soul. Even short, mindful movements performed with awareness of breath and intention can restore energy significantly. Psalm 139 verse 14 celebrates the human body. "I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made." By honoring your body, you nurture both vitality and spirit, blessing yourself through the simplest acts of care. Nutrition and hydration, while practical, are also acts of blessing. Mindful meals, consciously prepared, and adequately hydrated days support not just the body but the spirit. Psalm 104 verses 14 to 15 teaches us that all good things, including sustenance, are gifts. You cause the grass to grow for the livestock and plants for man to cultivate, that he may bring forth food from the earth, and wine to gladden the heart of man, oil to make his face shine, and bread to strengthen man's heart. Each meal, each sip of water, is an opportunity to recognize abundance, nourish yourself, and restore energy with intention. Another key element is environmental harmony. Decluttering your space, adjusting lighting, and reducing noise are subtle yet powerful acts. A peaceful environment supports calm, encourages focus, and replenishes mental and emotional reserves. Psalm 23 verses 2 to 3 says, "He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul." The principle applies not only to literal pastures, but also to creating spaces of tranquility in your home, your work, and your mind. Blessing yourself includes arranging your surroundings to foster life-giving energy. Social alignment and boundaries are equally important. Notice which relationships uplift and which drain. Setting gentle boundaries is not selfish. It is necessary for energy restoration. Psalm 133 verse 1 celebrates unity, yet it also implies harmony and balance. By surrounding yourself with supportive people and limiting draining interactions, you create a sacred space where energy can flourish. This is both a practical act and a blessing. You honor yourself while allowing positive connections to strengthen your spirit. Spiritual realignment is perhaps the most subtle but transformative step. Fatigue often arises when our daily actions are out of sync with our core values or purpose. Take time to reflect. Are the tasks and commitments you engage in aligned with your deeper calling? Psalm 37 verse 4 guides us. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Even small acts of alignment, choosing projects, rituals, or practices that resonate with your soul, bring a renewal of energy that no external stimulant can match. Digital discipline is another area where energy can be restored. Limiting screen time, turning off notifications, and creating intentional periods without digital input allow the nervous system to recover. Psalm 62 verse 1 says, "Truly my soul finds rest in God. My salvation comes from Him." Intentional unplugging provides the stillness necessary for the body, mind, and spirit to restore balance. These moments may feel small, yet their cumulative effect is profound. Now, consider gratitude as an energy restoration practice. Gratitude is not merely a feel-good habit. It is a spiritual and physical reset. By consciously acknowledging what is already present and blessing it, your breath, your health, your relationships, you invite energy back into your being. Psalm 100 verse 4 says, "Enter His gates with thanksgiving, and His courts with praise. Give thanks to Him. Bless His name." Every breath of appreciation, every moment of acknowledgement, is an act of self-restoration. Let us also embrace rituals of consistency. Small, repeated practices, morning reflection, evening gratitude, mindful meals, gentle movement, compound over time. They create a rhythm that aligns body, mind, and spirit, producing energy that is sustainable rather than fleeting. Psalm 119 verse 105 reminds us, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." Regular rituals are the lamps along the path of restoration, guiding energy and attention with steady illumination. Finally, remember that rest is sacred. True rest is not idleness, but the active alignment of all dimensions of your being, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Fatigue becomes a teacher, signaling where attention is needed. Psalm 4 verse 8 encourages, "In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety." Safety, alignment, and blessing are essential ingredients for genuine restoration. As you begin to integrate these practices, you may notice subtle shifts, moments of clarity, deeper breath, a lighter heart, renewed enthusiasm. Energy begins to flow naturally, not forced, not manipulated, but restored from within. These shifts are blessings, evidence of your alignment with your own rhythm and purpose. The path of energy restoration is not instant, nor is it rigid. It is gentle, iterative, and deeply personal. Each step you take, each acknowledgement of fatigue, each act of self-care, is a blessing you give yourself. Psalm 91 verse 1 teaches, "He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty." Dwelling in this protective, restorative space is where energy can flourish fully. Through mindful stillness, emotional acknowledgement, movement, nourishment, environmental harmony, relational alignment, spiritual attunement, digital discipline, gratitude, and consistent rituals, the body, mind, and spirit reconnect. Fatigue no longer dominates. Energy is not a fleeting commodity, but a flowing river within you, a sacred blessing that sustains every moment of life. By embracing these practices, you step into the reality that exhaustion is not a punishment, a flaw, or an inevitable condition. It is a message, a sacred invitation to restore, align, and bless yourself fully. In this space, you find not just physical energy, but mental clarity, emotional stability, and spiritual depth. The Psalms guide you to this truth, offering words, insight, and blessing, illuminating the path toward vitality that is deep, sustaining, and holistic. As you continue on this journey of understanding your fatigue, it becomes clear that true energy is more than just physical vigor. It is a harmonious blend of body, mind, and spirit, cultivated through awareness, alignment, and blessing. Fatigue is a messenger. It signals where attention, care, and love are needed. And once you heed this gentle message, you begin to reclaim your vitality in ways that are deep and lasting. Begin by noticing the subtle cues your body gives you each day. Are there moments when your chest feels tight, your limbs heavy, your mind foggy? These are not annoyances or weaknesses. They are sacred signals, guiding you to the areas of your life where energy is blocked or misaligned. Psalm 139 verses 23 to 24 says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any grievous way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." Self-awareness is the first blessing on the path to restored vitality. Pay attention also to emotional patterns. Feelings that are suppressed or unacknowledged quietly drain your energy, even when life appears normal on the surface. Psalm 34 verse 18 reminds us, "The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit." By gently acknowledging your emotions, through journaling, prayer, or reflection, you release their weight. In doing so, you bless yourself with freedom and renewed energy, allowing vitality to flow naturally once again. Physical care is another crucial aspect. Small movements, stretches, or walks in nature create rhythm, circulation, and reconnection with your body. Psalm 104 verse 24 celebrates creation and the human experience within it. O Lord, how manifold are your works! In wisdom have you made them all. The earth is full of your creatures. By honoring your body as part of this creation, you bless yourself while restoring the energy that supports every aspect of life. Nutrition and hydration remain practical yet spiritual tools. Mindful consumption, gratitude for nourishment, and attention to hydration provide the foundation for sustainable energy. Each meal becomes a ritual, each sip a blessing. Psalm 104 verse 15 encourages us to recognize the joy and life inherent in sustenance. Wine to gladden the heart of man, oil to make his face shine, and bread to strengthen man's heart. With this awareness, even ordinary meals become opportunities to restore energy and spirit simultaneously. Environmental harmony is often underestimated but deeply effective. Spaces of calm, order, and intentionality reduce microstress and allow energy to flourish. Psalm 23 verses 2 to 3 says, "He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul." While not every home has literal pastures or waters, creating spaces that evoke stillness and peace allows energy to return naturally, blessing your daily life with renewed clarity and calm. Social alignment continues to play a role. Supportive relationships energize, draining one's deplete. Setting boundaries, honoring your own energy, and nurturing positive connections are acts of blessing toward yourself and others. Psalm 133 verse 1 celebrates harmonious unity. "Behold, how good and pleasant it is when brothers dwell in unity." When you surround yourself with uplifting presence, you allow energy to flow freely, fostering both resilience and joy. Spiritual alignment completes the circle of restoration. When your daily actions resonate with your purpose and values, fatigue diminishes, replaced by a sense of flow and vitality. Psalm 37 verse 4 teaches, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart." Small acts of integrity, kindness, or authenticity cultivate energy that cannot be manufactured externally. Each moment aligned with your spirit is a blessing, a source of enduring vitality. Digital discipline also contributes to long-term restoration. Intentional breaks from screens, mindful media consumption, and deliberate periods of silence restore focus and calm. Psalm 62 verse 1 says, "Truly my soul finds rest in God. My salvation comes from him." By reclaiming attention and creating boundaries with technology, you bless your nervous system and restore the energy that supports mental clarity and emotional stability. Gratitude, when practiced consistently, becomes a source of profound energy. Psalm 100 verse 4 says, Enter his gates with thanksgiving, and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him. Bless his name. Recognizing what you already have, expressing appreciation for small moments, and blessing the gifts around you replenishes energy that might otherwise be drained by focus on lack, comparison, or unmet expectations. Gratitude turns fatigue into opportunity, depletion into blessing. Consistency in these practices is the key to lasting transformation. Small, repeated acts, mindful pauses, emotional acknowledgement, gentle movement, nourishing meals, environmental order, healthy relationships, spiritual alignment, digital discipline, gratitude, compound over time. Psalm 119 verse 105 teaches, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." These consistent practices illuminate the path to restored energy, guiding each step with light, blessing, and clarity. Recognize also that fatigue is not linear. Some days may still feel heavy, even with practices in place. This is natural. Be gentle with yourself. Psalm 23 reminds us, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." Even in low moments, the process of restoration continues, quietly, in rhythm with your awareness, intention, and blessing. Finally, remember that energy is a sacred gift, not a commodity to be forced or manipulated. By understanding the layers of fatigue, recognizing its messages, and responding with intentional practices, you create a flow that is both natural and sustaining. Each breath, each movement, each act of reflection and gratitude is a blessing that replenishes body, mind, and spirit. The journey toward renewed energy is a journey of awareness, care, and blessing. It is the gentle recognition that your body, mind, and spirit are sacred vessels. Psalm 16 verse 11 affirms, "You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore." When you listen, align, and bless yourself, joy returns. Vitality returns. The tiredness that once seemed relentless becomes a teacher, guiding you toward restoration, peace, and wholeness. In this space, you no longer chase energy. You receive it. You cultivate it. You bless it. And in so doing, you reclaim not just your vitality, but a deeper sense of connection to yourself, your purpose, and the life around you. Every day becomes an opportunity to renew, restore, and bless your own being. As we arrive at the end of this journey, it is important to pause and reflect on all that has been discovered. Fatigue, persistent and seemingly unrelenting, is not merely a condition of the body. It is a layered signal, an invitation to tune in to the subtle whispers of your mind, heart, and spirit. What may have once seemed like an endless drain of energy is now revealed as guidance, a sacred opportunity to restore, to align, and to bless yourself fully. You have learned to recognize the many hidden forces that deplete energy. Mental clutter, emotional suppression, physical tension, nutritional gaps, environmental stress, relational imbalance, spiritual misalignment, and digital overexposure are not signs of weakness. They are invitations, gentle nudges from life and from within, to pause, to reflect, and to act with intention. Each moment of recognition is itself a blessing, because awareness creates choice. Psalm 139 verses 23 to 24 reminds us, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any grievous way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." Awareness is the first step toward transformation. Restoration is not instant. It does not come from a single action or a quick fix. It is cultivated through consistent, mindful practices, rituals of stillness, emotional acknowledgement, gentle movement, mindful nourishment, environmental order, supportive relationships, spiritual alignment, digital discipline, and gratitude. Each of these practices is a thread that weaves together the fabric of renewed vitality. Psalm 119 verse 105 guides us. "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." In your daily rituals, the path to restoration is illuminated, gentle yet unwavering. Blessing yourself through these practices is an act of profound love. When you pause to breathe mindfully, to honor your emotions, to move your body, or to nourish it with thoughtful meals, You are blessing yourself with energy, clarity, and balance. Psalm 16 verse 11 says, "You make known to me the path of life. In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore." Restoration is not a duty. It is a blessing freely offered when you honor yourself with awareness and intention. Gratitude plays a subtle but transformative role. Recognizing the small blessings of each day, sunlight, a comforting meal, a gentle breeze, a kind word, invites energy to flow back into your being. It shifts focus from lack to abundance, from depletion to renewal. Psalm 100 verse 4 reminds us, "Enter his gates with thanksgiving, and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him, bless his name." Gratitude is a practice that transforms fatigue into insight, tiredness into blessing, and ordinary moments into opportunities for restoration. Even in moments when fatigue seems overwhelming, you are not powerless. Each pause, each conscious choice, each act of self-care strengthens your energy reserves. Psalm 23 verse 4 teaches, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." You are never alone in this process. The guidance of awareness, the wisdom of alignment, and the blessings you cultivate surround you, supporting restoration even when it feels slow. True energy is holistic. It integrates the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual dimensions of life. It flows naturally when mind, body, and spirit are in harmony, and it diminishes when one area is neglected. Psalm 34 verse 8 encourages, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who takes refuge in him." In recognizing the sacred connection between all aspects of your being, you uncover the source of authentic vitality. Restoration is not only possible, it is inherent, waiting to be nurtured and received. As you move forward, remember that small actions accumulate into profound change. Gentle, consistent practices, pausing for breath, acknowledging feelings, creating quiet spaces, nourishing your body, engaging with supportive relationships, aligning with your purpose, unplugging from constant digital demands, and practicing gratitude compound over time. Each repetition strengthens your energy, deepens your insight, and expands your capacity to thrive. Psalm 1 verse 3 illustrates this beautifully. "He is like a tree planted by streams of water that yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither. In all that he does, he prospers." Consistency in blessing yourself cultivates a life that flourishes naturally, effortlessly, and fully. Energy is not a finite resource to be managed anxiously. It is a sacred flow to be received, cultivated, and respected. Fatigue, when understood, becomes a teacher rather than an obstacle. It signals where care is needed, where realignment is possible, and where blessing can be given. Psalm 46 verse 1 affirms, "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble." In embracing this truth, you find not only restored energy, but also a profound sense of peace, resilience, and empowerment. Your journey toward vitality is also a journey of self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and patience you would offer a loved one. Honor your rhythms, forgive your lapses, celebrate your progress. Psalm 103 verses 2 to 3 encourages, "Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits, who forgives all your iniquity, who heals all your diseases." Healing and restoration are not linear. They are a gentle unfolding, a sacred process. In this process, your energy returns, and your spirit rejoices in its renewal. Finally, know that restored energy is more than just the absence of fatigue. It is a full-bodied, mind-clear, heart-open, spirit-alive state of being. It is a life lived in alignment with your purpose, nourished by blessing, and sustained by awareness. Psalm 84 verse 5 teaches, "Blessed are those whose strength is in you, in whose heart are the highways to Zion." When you align with your inner rhythm, nurture your body, honor your mind, embrace your emotions, and cultivate gratitude, you walk on these highways of strength. Each step is blessed, each breath replenished, and each moment alive with energy. As you close this chapter and carry these insights into daily life, remember, fatigue is not your enemy. It is a guide, a teacher, a sacred invitation to restore and bless yourself fully. By listening, aligning, and nurturing every part of your being, body, mind, and spirit, you transform tiredness into vitality, struggle into blessing, and ordinary days into opportunities for joy and renewal. Embrace these practices, not as obligations, but as gifts to yourself. Each pause, each act of care, each reflection, each expression of gratitude is a blessing that flows directly into your energy and your life. Psalm 16 verse 11 reminds us once again, "In your presence there is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore." Joy, clarity, and vitality are not distant goals. They are the natural fruits of alignment, awareness, and blessing. In the end, remember this truth. Restoration is always possible. Energy, when nurtured and blessed, flows freely. Life, when lived with awareness and alignment, is vibrant. Your fatigue, once a source of frustration, becomes a guide to deeper wisdom and greater vitality. Through this journey, you have learned to recognize the hidden forces that drain energy, to respond with gentle practices, and to bless yourself at every step. This is the gift of understanding fatigue, the blessing of restored vitality, and the path toward a life lived fully, mind, body, and spirit united.